military bases aren't just for protection. They are sealed gates, and they're built to keep you out, keeping you out of old world sites, governments, and NATO, as well as other organizations. They have been locating buried facilities all over the world, and they quickly updated them to be functional again, and chalking it all up to the Cold War, where I don't believe that the US military constructed Eareckson Air Station in the 1940s. I believe that it was found, situated on Schwatka Island in Alaska's Aleutian chain, where they have not publicly acknowledged it. But certain aspects of its infrastructure suggest some subterranean elements. We have just gone over multiple mountains that are self-sustaining cities. So it's not shocking when we see that there is a structure known as a water gallery, a buried perforated pipe system that collects and distributes drinking water. This is not a normal thing for remote airfields, especially one that's built in the 1940s. Once again, constructed to sustain life. Yet we're all told that this place was only constructed for radar surveillance, strategic communications, and aircraft refueling. So why in the world would they need an underground water gallery, a perforated pipe system that collects and distributes drinking water, which we all know is not normal for remote airfields? So what is going on here? And who built this place? Let's go further. This is located on an island, and in my opinion today, we take this research so much further than before, where these old world underground structures, these so-called military bases, they don't just run underground, they also go underwater. We see that these two military bases are extremely close together. I believe, like we have shown before, that these are connected, a web, as we were told. And as we zoom out, I think we are seeing something unbelievable. What we're told that we're seeing is the Aleutian Trench. This is a major subduction zone where the Pacific plate is hitting the North American plate. Again, this is what we're told. But if we stop there, we would never figure anything out. So we obviously have to ask questions at this point. Are these just plates hitting and that's it? Or is there a reason that the military found places or went into this location and has bases all along this massive trench? And I believe these locations, they were found. These locations are strategically placed. I'll ask, do we all know everything about the Earth's plates? Do we all know what's going on under the water fully? Of course we don't. So it's safe to say that we need to keep researching. As we go from right to left, we find military bases all the way through this thing. Bases, stations, airfields, they're all dedicated to military operations and restricted to the public. And we are told that none of it is connected under the water. I don't believe that. At Fort Learnard, on Alaska Island, we are told that there is a 492-foot long underground tunnel, accessible only by water. Are you seeing clearer than ever before? This was all constructed in the 1940s, or was it all found and given a brand new story before a road was constructed? The only way to access Fort Learnard and its 492-foot long underground tunnel was by water. The tunnel was there before the road. This was all found. The entire underground structure was cut off from land travel. The only way to get to the tunnel was through the water, because in my opinion, the tunnel is massive. It connects to all of the other islands and is so much bigger than 492 feet. We've seen that so many times, and we've also seen that it's multiple layers. We've seen where it's 18 levels deep, and we know that it goes deeper than that. There were no access points on the land, because I believe this is an underwater tunnel system that was found. And then after they found it, they went in there and put a road in. So let's expose this even further. We understand that by saying things are all for military, for one, it blocks it off to the whole world. For two, they don't even have to make up a story about its construction. Who was the architect for this 492-foot tunnel system? Who was it? It's only accessible through the water in the 1940s, which is an extremely impressive design, especially for that time period. And it's also a difficult to access location. Who did this? Who was the mastermind behind this one? there's no publicly available record identifying a specific architect by name for the 492-foot tunnel at Fort Learnard on Alaska Island, where this project, they just chalk it up to a group project. It's a team effort, and they didn't want to give credit to just one guy. It's ridiculous. This is clearly an excuse to classify it all, saying that it was all for war. And nobody questioned this for 80 years. The military did it. It was a group project, and it's blocked off from all of us. So why bother? Not anymore. This is a pattern, and patterns expose lies, and we know this. We know exactly what to look for. And I'm just going to keep pinning more military locations along these islands, because we've found so many more from what we showed earlier. Now we have Fort Schwatka, just 4.5 miles away, and we find this, just random structures all over the island. Check these pictures out. These are all on this island. And a very interesting thing right here is what we're looking at an entrance. All of this on every single one of these islands, all of it together, the tunnels and the rest, all being completed between 1940 and 1943, we are told. Can you believe this? In 3 years, all of this is done on all of these islands, with some construction in as little as a year. All of it getting done. Where this Fort Schwatka, this was one of those that were done in a year. Where this site includes underground reinforced command stations. Underground things yet again. And observation posts. Tunneled into the mountain. All of it is done in a year. In the 1940s. Are you sure? Again, we've seen this with the buildings, where they tell us that buildings all over the world that are incredible. Buildings, palaces, with architects with no training. We've seen the same stories, where yet again, no architect is named that planned this out and got it all done in a year, where they just chalked it up to the U.S. Army. Right. And the exact total length of the entire tunnel system is, of course, not publicly documented. At the second military island now that we've seen all along this trench, historical records confirm that the fort included an underground plotting room connected by a tunnel, and they could withstand bombs, earthquakes, and severe weather conditions. This is exactly like the Cheyenne Mountain Complex. This is just like Raven Rock, and just like so many other supposed military locations that we have seen so far. They are self-sustaining, and they are very powerful places. And 64 miles away, we have yet another military base. I don't think it takes a wizard to figure out at this point that something is going on here. All of this is done in a year with tunnels all over the place, blocking all of these islands off to the public, even to this day. And I'll tell you what, we are just getting started today. Welcome to episode 131 of my lunch break. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you're new, welcome. You know the feeling you get when your coffee actually does what it's supposed to? It clears your head. It lifts your energy. It doesn't leave you crashing hours later. That's what good coffee is supposed to feel like, and that's what you get with 1775 coffee. Their coffee is organic, single origin, high altitude, and small batch roasted. This means no toxins, no acidity, no jitters, just smooth, clean coffee. Fuels your day without weighing you down. From bold everyday roasts to brain-boosting mushroom blends and anti-aging formulas, 1775 has the functional and classic coffee options to match whatever mission you're on. Whole bean, ground, or pods. Your morning just got upgraded. Go to 1775coffee.com/lunchbreak and get your 1775 coffee starter kit that's worth over $200 for only $99. The initial launch is only 1,000 units, so get it while you can at 1775coffee.com/lunchbreak and get your coffee today. And I want to thank all of our sponsors over on Patreon. Thank you to FlatEarthDave.com. You can check out his app, the Flat Earth, Sun, Moon, and Zodiac app. I'll put the link right in the description. And you can use my referral code, MLB. If you click the Tartaria button, you'll see the My Lunch Break playlist right here. The app is awesome. Thank you to Rebecca Kay, David and Sherry Ferguson, Chuck Templeton, Joy Lee, Stephanie Nolan, the Burlesons, Suez KC, Edwin Rice, Charles Kruger, Dan Woodall, Dale, DJ Clicktrack, Jacob Law, Jim Ribley and Christine Duggan, Kyle Glasscock, PKTFnews.org, Ben Dries NL, Natalie Shippenoff, Melissa Edgar, Biggles, Clayton Lamar, Double Task Homestead, John Adams, Robert Ozolins, The Arnolds, Attila Power, Forbidden Gecko Love, Justin Grobner Grubb, Leah Strong, Dakota Dunn, EdgarT-shirts.com, Jason Hochberg, Marie C., Michael Dingyu, Patriot Armory, Tom O'Hara, Michael D. Connor, C3SCOB, Jeffrey Temple, SoniaDane.com, James Alt, Bucksui, Jason Press, Suki Warrior, We the People, Migs, Mark Chapman, Muji and DeClan, Ariana Oates, Jenica Joyce, Nathan Burba, Ski, Beacon of Truth, Liberty's Arborist, Thomas Thorpe Peterson, Zinger Coffee and Tea, EvelynMcGregor.com, Emily Maryland, Curious Cat, Mike D, etc., Dan McGee, Lori Hedvig Johnson, Ellie Annie, Seth Craigo, D Woods, Glenn Gunderson, Mousie's Mouse Cheese Records, Robert's Brain is Gone, Extreme Reality Check, Late for Dinner, Eolo Goncalves, Blake, Rick Tapke, William Richard Jeffries V, Dax Bilchek and Son, Dylan Mugenberg, Leonard Insalaco, Robert Petro, Katz Hill, Susie Q, Yark 143, Sven Eric, Carey, Kitty Kitties, GOL, I'm Patriot, Doc Halo, Kenneth Putt, Brenna Fernandez, Paraduction, Henry's Mom, Necrodemonics, A&W Kerrigan, Tim Skin, Rod Wah, Sweetest of Peas, Corbin Mechanical, Buck, VKH Bonner, Breaking Bigfoot, Rydian and the Residuals, Road Warrior, Bruce Latour, Anna Marley and Nunzio, Codrenth, David and Irene, Al Pisano, Ivan Apoctoli, Ardra Rogers, Brazawayan, Armin Walker, Ivan Apoctoli, Papa One, Kinda Classy, Kinda Chola, Maybell, When He Set a Compass Upon the Face of the Depth, Laurel L. Burnett, David Rauschenbach, Hoppy Johns, DJ Sofa King and Jen Hollywood, Summer Chambers, Russian Madness, Bill, Vince Moreno, Lucy, Shiba Shaba in the Darkness. You guys are all awesome and helping this channel out a lot. Along this entire trench, we have located multiple so-called military bases. We are told that they were constructed in like a year, and nobody can figure out who built them. No named architects. They just had some great teamwork in the 1940s. No. When these are, as we've shown, all strategic locations, they are strategic tunnel entrances that were difficult to access and were constructed before the roads on the island. We all know there are underground tunnels, underwater tunnels, and the length of them are all unknown. They are not disclosed to the public, and we know these locations have things like subterranean water galleries. And none of this is normal for the 1940s. And there's no way they were just throwing all of this together in such a short amount of time. The story that we're told is yet again, it's illogical. It is story time for adults, all in my opinion, of course, and you're free to think whatever you'd like. I'm taking the facts and I'm using everything that we've seen all over the world and coming to these conclusions. But in my opinion, this location is much more in depth than what we are told. And exactly like we've shown in the dam construction episodes, we know that the old world, and now our world, uses these natural locations, such as water power, for something so much bigger. Something that I believe is not being shown to us. We know that these locations, they generate a ridiculous amount of power, and it's all free. And now it's time to show why military locations are all over these tectonic plates and what kind of power is being generated from an earthquake. And why are there so many military locations right here? Why did the USA purchase Alaska in 1867? What did they figure out in our new timeline? Where the Aleutian Trench extends over 2,000 miles along the southern edge of Alaska's Aleutian Islands, as we know, has a lot of military locations now. Among all of them is the Eareckson Air Station, which of course operates an 18 megawatt independent power plant, despite telling all of us that this site was just for radar and refueling planes. So why is there an 18 megawatt independent power plant This naval air facility is another location here on this fault line that has geothermal potential with multiple scientific assessments, including those from the Alaska Center for Energy and Power, confirming the geothermal capacity of the Aleutian Arc. And we all know that these military locations are all self-sustaining. They're off the grid and all inaccessible to the public. No construction proof, no architects, and all done during a war, and all done in no time at all. What is going on under the ground, especially in this location where tectonic plates are in constant motion? They create intense natural forces that all generate energy, just like the dams. And this is the exact location that the old world would set up something incredible. And it's the exact type of location that this timeline that we're currently in restricts to the public over and over. We are not going to get free energy. And it's because, all in my opinion, and I believe a few others, but we are, of course, in a little season. And in this little season, the only thing that's free is polluted air. As one plate subducts beneath another, it pushes deep into the mantle, creating friction and heat. This heat rises the temperature of underground water sources, producing steam with deep wells tapping into these underground heat zones. And then the steam will spin the turbines, creating electricity, where we already know this is going on in places like the Coso Geothermal Field at China Lake Naval Weapons Station. We know this is going on. It is public information. We know they have this technology, and we know they're using it all over the world. And as we've seen so many times, yet again, the piezoelectric energy process, where tectonic stress compresses certain minerals, like quartz, granite, and other rocks, all generating electrical voltage when mechanically deformed. These earthquake zones are perfect for this. These locations were all constructed for the Cold War, we are told. So why are these places, every single one of them, why are they still off limits to the public? The Cold War is over the last time I checked. Public access is denied at the Eareckson Air Station, the former Naval Air Facility, ADUC, which supposedly closed in 1997, is still subject to institutional controls, including land use restrictions, excavation permits, and prohibitions on groundwater use. And this is all chalked up to environmental concerns. Where else does this sound like? I believe I've heard this before. Antarctica, anyone? And before we go on, let's take a minute and thank all of our badge members, all of our Patreons, and every single subscriber. It is so much fun watching the subscribers go up every single day and seeing this community grow bigger and bigger. And thank you to everybody who likes the episodes. This helps push these episodes to brand new people that have never heard about this information before. I appreciate all of you. It's also really cool watching this channel grow across multiple platforms. We are just getting started. We are on YouTube, Rumble, X, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify, if you're looking for even more content from us. We know that the old world was incredible, and they knew how to use the earth and get all of the free energy that it was giving out by using dams, using the ether, using the fault lines, anything that produced mass amounts of energy for free. they would take advantage of without a doubt and share it with the whole world. Everything is connected from the previous civilization, and I believe it could be used today for good. But I believe it is being controlled by a select group, and I believe that they're enriching themselves. I believe that they found this technology, and they are profiting from it. Again, this is all in my opinion. I have no idea, but I don't believe in coincidences. That we see so many military bases all lined up on this fault line, I believe those are signals to us to dig deeper. It's no coincidence that they are restricted to the public, and using the military as an excuse is an incredible way to do this, because it's instantly dismissed by the general public. They would say, yes, of course we can't go there and investigate. It's a military base. Why would you even want to go there anyway? Not anymore. We don't know what's going on at the North Pole, as that is also restricted to the public. We also have no idea what the previous civilization was even capable of. Did they rip this part of the Earth open to generate this power for the world? Anything and everything have to be on the table. We don't know who was here. We know that they were incredible. We know that they were very powerful. And we know that they had tools and they had knowledge. So asking if they created this fault line, I don't believe that should be off the table. It is a perfect drip line. And we just keep going. And what are the odds that Russia has its largest geothermal power plant sitting right on this fault line? This is not random. I believe they are using the old world technology without a doubt. And we're just figuring this out right now. Where the USA, as we know, has a ton of military bases here on this site of this fault. But what about the other side? Are we right or are we right? Russia has established significant military and energy infrastructure on the Kuril Islands. They have military locations all over this thing, with plans to construct over 50 brand new military facilities on the islands. While at the same exact time, they have energy facilities, including a 4.8 megawatt power plant. Charging people money for power is crazy. They have the resources to do this. They are doing it, and they understand how to do it. And they know exactly what they're doing. They've been doing it for years. And the Earth generates power in so many different ways. It is a choice at this point. And like we've talked about so many times, we don't know what they've found. We're all just catching up. We don't know what technology from the old world was located, what texts, what tablets. We don't know what these locations are really used for. We can only speculate. But what we do know, without a doubt, is that they generated an incredible amount of power. But at this point, we don't know what they're powering. We are restricted for a reason, even to this day. We aren't locked out for safety, that's for sure. We are locked out for control. These locations, they may be powering something right now that would blow all of our minds if we found out. What if the old world technology is still turned on?